The importance of a licensed cannabis distributor here in California. Licensed distributors play a major role in ensuring the quality of the cannabis products here in California. Through quarantine lab testing, distributors are able to test the product before entering into the consumer market. Once approved by the distributor, an invoice along with a transportation manifest is generated, which is then used to transport the product to a licensed retail location where then they take possession of it. This ensures all products consistently meet all of California's criteria set forth through the track and trace system controlled by metrc. The goal of using a licensed distributor bypasses any biases, and it creates a trustworthy assurance with consistent outcomes. This way, the end consumer doesn't need to worry when purchasing licensed cannabis products here in California, as it's already been approved by multiple agencies along with the distributor, the testing lab, and is safe for consumption. Stick around to the end of the video as I explain a few different functions of the licensed distributor here in California, which will also translate to a lot of the licensed states coming online throughout the rest of the country. I'm going to let you know that you need to have a strong partnership with a licensed distributor, unless you have your own distribution license already. If you want to find out more ways to get your brand established in the licensed cannabis market, be sure to follow for daily tips, tricks, and updates on the licensed cannabis market. So if you want to ensure quality cannabis, that's going to start with a quality distributor here in California. So as I mentioned before, distributors are responsible for testing the product to ensure the safety for consumers. And secondly, distributors are also responsible for invoicing retailers, as well as generating the transportation manifests that the retailers receive to obtain the product to sell. So I'm sure you're asking yourself, why is it that the distributors get to test the product and not the farmers or the stores? The answer to that is that it takes away any bias, both from the cultivator's side, who grew the product, to the brand side or the retailer side who wants to sell the product. So the distributor is that neutral third party. I get a lot of questions on my channel about licensed transportation and how to properly do it. And one of those things starts with a transportation manifest. So I get a lot of questions on how do you get a transportation manifest. In California, we have a track and trace company called metrc, metrc. And they provide the track and trace infrastructure and software that all of the license holders in California use to transfer product between different companies. California identified the distributor as the one that's allowed to do the transportation. So in that supply chain, the metrc software has to allow the distributor to generate transportation manifests in order to move product from point A to point B. Final question. Once the distributor has delivered the product to the final retail storefront, now what happens? One of two things will happen. The distributor will either collect the payment right there, it's called COD, cash on delivery, when the product's dropped off to the retailer. That's what's always hoped for. Or if there's stipulations, which we call terms on the invoice, which gives the retailer a certain amount of days to actually pay that invoice in full, the distributor will then go back and pick up that payment and collect the tax and remit that on behalf of any license holder, as well as collect their payment for the service and then give the final payment to either the brand or the cultivator. The final thing to keep in mind is that networking with distributors can be extremely powerful, especially if you're a brand or even a wholesaler. The reason why is because they have a vast network of buyers and retailers, and what that can do is help sell your brand and position it, as well as sell your wholesale product if you're a cultivator. Go to my website, hichris.com, and sign up with your email address to get more great information about the licensed cannabis industry, as well as how to launch and scale your licensed cannabis brand without owning the license. Let me know what you guys want to know more about in the comments below.